Welcome to SVG-TV's news for Wednesday, November 15th, 2023. I'm Prescot Campbell with the details. Teachers across St. Vincent and the Grenadines should be proud of their history and continue to thank the pioneers of the great movements laid in 1975. This is according to President of the SVG Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, who was addressing the opening ceremony of the annual CW Prescot lecture on Monday as part of the activities to mark Teachers Solidarity Week 2023. On November 14, 1975, a peaceful teachers' demonstration was crushed by the police, who used tear gas against the demonstrators. According to the reports, tensions between teachers and the then St. Vincent Labour Party government escalated after repeated calls for dialogue by the union to discuss the conditions on schools and promised back pay, among other issues, went unheard.
A solid foundation on which today we are benefiting from the sweat of the leadership and the members of the Teachers Union. And so we are very grateful for what they have done. And we must take a page from what they have laid to be involved. Workers have a right to assemble, to exercise your freedom of expression with that responsibility that comes with it, not to defame anybody, not to slander anybody. And so it is important not only demonstrating our fundamental rights and freedom, but at the workplace, our productivity must be high. Workers have to be involved in ensuring that the business achieves its goals and its objectives.
Noting that the SVG Teachers Union, which will be celebrating 71 years as a trade union next year, is here to stand, Robinson said it has withstood the test of time and is here to stay.
So we are thankful for those of you who have come out to rally around. Not only the members of the executive were here, but with a rich piece of history that you continue to tell the rest of the nation. We are grateful to Almighty God for keeping us thus far, and we pray that everything would work out for the rest of the week. And I want to use this opportunity to wish all members of the Teachers Union a very blessed and a very productive week, and may Almighty God continue to bless us abundantly.
In delivering the annual CW Prescot Memorial Lecture under the theme, The Significance of Workers Active, a Recipe for Success, businessman Jimmy Ford said when workers actively participate in their roles and bring their passion to the table, something magical happens.
Ideas flourish, innovation blossom, and challenges are met with resilience. Your active involvement is not a part of the process. It is the essence of the process. Imagine a symphony where every musician plays its part harmoniously. Each musician contributes to the beauty of the piece, and together they create a masterpiece. Similarly, in your organization, your active participation is what creates the symphony of success. Your unique skill, your different perspectives and efforts are the notes that come together to form a melody of achievement. Every year or every biennial, I'm not certain, you have elections to elect an executive. And the executive will come together and plan different programs for the union. I can challenge you that you can plan the best program. If the information of your plan or plans do not reach down to your members in the various schools, your planning would be in vain. In order to have the success that you're planning for in any organization, you will have to ensure that the members of the organization are enthusiastic about the plan. And earlier I mentioned about perspective. In every organization, there will be differences in perspectives because we come from different backgrounds and we bring different ideas and we bring our differences. It is the oneness of person that will make the organization successful. It is the understanding by the grouping of persons that this is our mission, these are our objectives, these are what we must work together for, and therefore if this teachers' union is to be the powerhouse that it was in the 70s, the union will have to find ways to excite its members across political lines, will have to communicate clearly and concisely.
Activities for Teachers Solidarity Week will continue tomorrow, Thursday, November 16th, with the President's Awards ceremony and cocktail at the Teachers Cooperative Credit Union headquarters, and Friday, November 17th for the annual Teachers Solidarity March and Rally in Capital Kingston from 2:30 p.m. Prime Minister Dr. Alf Gonsalves is hoping that the debate process on the budget estimates can be done in December before Christmas. On radio yesterday, the Prime Minister said over the past few days they have been holding a cabinet committee on the economy with all ministers and relevant public servants with the draft estimates in preparation for the debates on the estimates, noting that based on the schedule of events, it looks as if the budget presentation will be made in January 2024.
Once we get the estimates out of the way, all the preparations will be made in respect of the appropriation bill. And there's a procedure under the Finance Administration Act for the funding, the continued funding of the government. So there's no problem there. But I want to get the estimates out before Christmas. That's what we have promised the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines on an ongoing basis. What happens is this: around December, November, December, it's a packed schedule of all sorts of things, meetings in the regional and the global setting on very important matters, because that's what happens after the UN General Assembly in September, and a lot of these meetings are driven by the requisites of the North Atlantic and one or two other countries, during these critical winter months for them. We're part of the world, so we have to
definitely, yes.
We have to work, adjust, and everything.
The Prime Minister also noted that a meeting will be held next Tuesday with a standing committee on finance in relation to two supplementary appropriation bills, which they will be taking to Parliament on Thursday, November 23rd.
The two supplementary estimates and two supplementary appropriation bills which we are going to Parliament with. One bundle has to do with special warrants which have been issued for urgent and unforeseeable business, and those have to go to Parliament as a matter of course under the Finance Administration Act, and under the constitutional arrangements. But one of the supplementary appropriation bill has to do with about $78.2 million. 74 of it has to do with funding which we have to provide on the port. This is not new monies, because what had happened is this: the port is moving at such a rapid pace,
Very much so.
that they're spending more money
More quicker
than
Yes.
and Camilo had pointed that out, and I had pointed that out in the estimates, that we may, in the last appropriation bill, that we may have to come to Parliament with a supplementary, depending on the pace at which they move. But that is funding which is already there.
Good.
But there's a 4.2 million, which is a new appropriation for, we put in a bid, and I've been advised we have been successful with the bid. This is what this 4.2 is: a bid to purchase the building of the bank, the First St. Vincent Bank.
Okay.
So that the government would own that building on the right-hand side, because we already own the building on the left-hand side, the juicy, in the entering of the city.
Exactly.
From the windward side. So, and then other bills before Parliament, as I had indicated before, some had to do with increased penalties for guns and ammunition, for illegal firearms and ammunition.
On the regulations to come regarding tint on vehicles, Prime Minister said the nature of the regulations would require some discussion among the public, which he has already advised the Attorney General about.
Particularly so because these are done by executive acts through regulations, so they wouldn't come to Parliament for debate. So in the absence of that, I would, because they're done with under regulations under the existing Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, the Parent Act, so that we'd like motorists and other citizens to have a reflection, because, you know, it's an area in which you can see, depending on how narrowly or widely the regulations are drawn, and in specific circumstances, you may have some controversies. And it is good for a draft to be put, not as the final document, but for consultation and feedback from the public. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of feedback and a lot of discussion, as it should be in a free and democratic society. But there's security implications. Yeah. Why is it that the government is moving to address the question of tint?
Absolutely.
Now, so you would notice the schedule over the next few days very punishing, and well, the last few days too, and the last few weeks and months.
Prime Minister Gonsalves left the state yesterday afternoon with a 10-member delegation for the first CARICOM Saudi Arabia summit. In other news, now acting manager of the National Center of Technological Innovation, Charles Burke, said artificial intelligence can be used to enhance law enforcement operations. Burke was a guest on the Police on the Beat program on NBC Radios, said artificial intelligence can help to examine crime data, analyze data based on a geography of the crime and the type of crime, which he said will be of great value to the SVG police force.
Just to digitize all the data it has. You have to create databases, you have to have data in digital format. That's the beginning, because AI manipulates data. Right now, if you have to do any kind of analysis, I guess you basically just go through the data from. I mean, I know if you're searching through the book still, but but you have to have data to manipulate, right? Yes. So that's the first step. You have to put in your data resources, whether your servers, whether your data banks, and you need that. Police need that at the first step.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
On the future implications of artificial intelligence on law enforcement, policing and security, Corporal Alia Stapleton, who is attached to the Information Technology Unit, said to ensure that the SVG police force is effective and efficient, it is essential to employ innovative tools to investigate and analyze information.
They might say something, or they might post something, and that is their profile, in a sense that now there's because some NLPs, that AI, natural language processing, but you could basically use it to view posts.
What do you call it? LLPs?
NLPs, natural language processing.
Okay.
Right. They basically go through the social media sites and send out spiders for these posts with that having guns. America use them a lot to track data online, right? So they basically would track anything that they like hate, crime or gun or whatever. They basically could pick up those kind of posts and find the individuals who posting them kind of stuff online and keep an eye on those type of individuals.
Yes.
Artificial intelligence is the simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, especially computer systems. Specific applications of AI include expert systems, natural language processing, speech recognition, and machine vision. Research have shown that artificial intelligence can help officers write messages and reports and summarize information from both written police reports and public reports. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Cuthbert Knights, said that diabetes in St. Vincent and the Grenadines can be prevented. However, persons have to pay more attention to their lifestyle habits. Knights was at the time addressing the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Diabetes and Hypertension Symposium and Fair yesterday at Heritage Square, held as part of activities to commemorate World Diabetes Day 2023.
Dealing with. I want to say though that diabetes is a lifestyle disease, meaning therefore that it is not necessarily something that comes upon us suddenly. It really and truly has to do with our lifestyle. One may argue that, it can be genetic, but notwithstanding, it's a lifestyle disease. Why are we saying that? It's a lifestyle disease because, by and large, it's not something that we're born with. It can come upon us because of excessive alcohol use, excessive tobacco use, excessive sugar, starches, etc. So therefore, we can control diabetes. We can also control diabetes even if we are living with diabetes. I want to say to you further though, that for those who are living with diabetes and for those of us who may not have diabetes, I also want to say to you that medical checks, self-management is very important. Now, all of us, we have absolutely no reason not to have ourselves checked.
Referring to this year's theme, access to diabetes care, PS tonight said diabetes care can be accessed at almost all 100 health centers across St. Vincent and the Grenadines and urged persons to not shy away from health centers.
No one in St. Vincent and the Grenadines can say that access is a problem. We have almost 43 primary health facilities here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 30 odd clinics, health centers, and 3 polyclinics. You and all of us and all nationals can access a health facility in this country just about 15 minutes or half an hour apart. So we have no reason. So I'm saying to you, we indeed have access because we have the physical facilities in the healthcare centers, the hospitals. Not only that, we have the programs as well. We are screening persons for diabetes. You don't have to pay a cent to be screened for diabetes. So we do have access. In other words, it is affordable for us to take care of ourselves when it comes to diabetes. Not to wait until we have diabetes. Get yourself screened. Get yourself tested. And if it is that you are somebody who are living with diabetes, you can get treatment and you can get care. We also have highly trained professionals, the minister raised this, who are capable of conducting, along with doctors, these screening clinics. We have capable programs, the Health Human Resources, to administer care to us as well. So there is access to care.
And Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Sinclair Prince, who also addressed yesterday's symposium, said one way in preventing diabetes is to stay away from alcohol. Prince also noted that all health centers across SVG are equipped to help persons battling diabetes.
Our Vinci Moves initiative that promotes physical activity across the lifespan on our Know Your Numbers campaign that is designed to reach the people within their various settings. We will continue, from the ministry standpoint, to go out into the communities and talk to people and convince them that in their own interest, they ought to take cognizance of what is happening to them. All our health centers are equipped to deal with the care. You can go to any health center and speak to your nurse and get the care you desire. We have been trying to ensure that all of these health centers are equipped and that the people who are working in them are trained and given the sensitivity that they need to deal with people suffering with these diseases. For at-risk individuals, a healthy diet, regular physical activity, maintaining normal body weight, regular screening, and avoiding tobacco use are ways to prevent diabetes. And equally, if you stop abusing alcohol, I've been told, that is one of the ways in which you can stop that. Lastly, designing and implementing effective lifestyle modification strategies, as recent evidence suggests that one way to address these disparities is to match patient needs to existing community resources.
Diabetes is said to be one of the leading causes of death here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In other news, the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with Harder Education, last Friday launched the Grade 6 writing competition at the Kingston Preparatory School. In her remarks at the opening ceremony, Education Officer in charge of Language, Literacy and Communication, Elizabeth Austin, said imagination is like a muscle, emphasizing the importance of reading and writing to sharpen students' skills and broaden their imagination. Austin urged the students to always read, as it assists in releasing one's thoughts and allows creativity to flourish, adding that writing gives a person the opportunity to release his or her emotions and gather cohesive thoughts. Austin said the upcoming competition will include a preliminary round in November 22nd, 2023. The top 10 participants selected from the initial round will vie for the coveted title in the finals, which is scheduled for January 10th, 2024. The reading company, Harder House, established in London in the 19th century, is providing financial support for the event. The company is also providing supplies to schools, teachers, and students with various educational resources and materials. Residents of Beckway will get another opportunity following the heels of a Zoom consultation held on late September 2023 to interact with members of the SVG Caribbean Digital Transformation Project Implementation Unit at the in-person consultation to be held on the Grenadine Island next week. A news release says the objectives of the consultation are to introduce persons who are not yet familiar with the project to it and to explain the project in detail and how they can benefit from this project once it is fully implemented. The consultation will also seek to answer questions and/or concerns from residents and provide clarity on issues of concern. The consultation will take place on Wednesday, November 22nd at the Beckway Anglican Primary School. It is scheduled to begin at 6 p.m. and will also be streamed live on the SVG Digital Transformation Project YouTube channel and Facebook page. Those in attendance will include Project Coordinator Winston George, Communications Officer Jennifer Richardson, and consultant from the firm Ernest & Young. The Caribbean Digital Transformation Project is a 5-year government project funded by the World Bank, which seeks to increase access to services, technologies and skills by governments, businesses and individuals in participating Eastern Caribbean countries. Those countries being St. Lucia, Dominica, Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The project has been ongoing in this country over the past 2.5 years and is being funded to a tune of US $30,000.